But we'll leave it to the players to play that game and walk the talk, Gideon and Leo. It's game 3, baby.
Let's jump right into it here. After the equalization, only one of these teams are going to be walking away with at least 2 points in the bag to try and qualify for the playoffs here with our Porcelain Heroes ready to go. It's going to be Team Falcons on the blue side up against ONIC Esports on the red. Let's jump right into it because, again, it's going to be an early leash for Kyle Teasy.
Picture perfect. I think Game 3, both teams have already learned up to this point what they should and shouldn't do in their draft. And despite the Hilda still being big, I think it being paired with the Khalid makes sense. Like, I'm thinking like 5-6 minutes forward, right? Where's Ogre gonna hide?
Exactly.
There's very few places for you to stay where neither Lutfi nor Keyboy won't check.
Well, that and also the fact that at least there's somebody to legitimately threaten few. You don't have to kind of throw bodies. Keyboy, you just press one button and force it out.
Dear Lord, there's a start bouncing ball by Ogwin to get out of harm's way. Few committing to the flicker, and he wants to wave, but he's down to like a third of his health.
Repeat of game number 1. I mean, he did lose his battle spell very early on prior to the 3 minutes end. He might just lose out some EXP. Oh, they're freezing it on him as well.
Oh, that's dirty. He's gonna miss 3 waves worth of minions. Kyle T's here waiting in the wings. Ogwin waiting to get blasted. All right, they'll share. Kyle Teasy trying to take down Sans. Not gonna happen, says Keyboy.
Yeah, feels bad situation there for sure. Luffy's going to take a bit of damage here, but even so, Few is a little bit behind on EXP, and Sans gets a free reset off of this. So he's on tempo. And I think right now the game is all about finding the tempo in the matchup. Owen needs to kind of squeeze his ways into the side lanes to try and create opportunities for Team Falcons to keep control over this game. And this is what I'm talking about. Catch them off guard, and Keyboy finally gets punished.
Nice catch by Idol ng mga kids here, putting Team Falcons up by 500 gold just in time as the turtle spawns, and it's the Falcons first.
This time, he can steal a camp away from Kyrie. Few doing a good job, and here comes the steal on the opposite end as Lupi ends up being fish food for Team Falcons. They trade 1 for 1 so far, but nobody is able to touch this turtle for free.
Both mid laners committed their ults, the stolen airstrike there by San. So he says, touche. I think we now have found each our match. The turtle let go by both junglers. Where's Kyrie headed? He's going for the delayed rotation. He's waiting for his purple.
Now he's going to invade again. He's done this similarly in both of his games, right? Very first turtle, instead of going straight for the turtle, you take your buff and then you move down to the opposite side of the map to keep up. Because as of right now, I'm assuming that Kyle understands that if they trade spells, Kyrie's most likely going to come out on top, knowing that Keyboy is going to be there a lot sooner than his reinforcements.
That's right. And his reinforcements, that being Ogwin, has to consider, I'm more of a team fighter. I can't babysit. Babysitting ain't what a big bouncing ball does. It takes down dudes. And now he's stretching, finds nobody. Keyboy sidestepping it, bouncing ball, keeping dudes in check. Oh, this turtle must be so pissed off right now. Like, come on, somebody take me.
That's what turtles want.
Yeah, he wants to give the buff and shield.
He does. Right now, finds one.
Massive hog, plus the feathered airstrike. Lutfi alive, and he does go down. How easy gets him. Raging Sandstorm coming through. Super Marco with a blast, point blank to the face. Keyboy falls, and now Kyrie down the barrel of a loaded gun. Super Marco lets him go. Ain't no energy for the Death Sonata, but a kill is a kill. A pickoff for Team Falcons.
ONIC really thought they could get away with that, right? The man advantage was very evident for us as the viewer because we could see the whole map, but at the same time, they probably expected this to happen. Severo was already in the wave, clearing it up and realizing there was no pressure whatsoever. Then finally, once the Death Sonata connected, they knew exactly where he was and was already too late.
And then that leads to a free turtle. Now Team Falcons are back to regular programming. Great instincts by the M5 World Champions. They know that, hey, we're winning slowly. This is the same instincts that Marco had in game 2. It's like, we don't need to overcommit. You're scaling to a point where our opponents can't deny us that point of no return. But look at Severo. You talked about how he was compromised in that situation, but he's still pretty good on farm.
He is, but he wasn't part of that fight entirely. And I think it's not like he was compromised. Compromised more so just being missing in the fight and needed to relay information so that ONIC can make some informed decisions. That's the sad part. He is slightly ahead of Super Marco at this point of time. But if you look at Super Marco's items, he's got the Fury Hammer. Sky Piercer completed, though.
Okay, so better positioning now. And it just took him 3 games.
Exactly. Now he's like, all right, I get it. I understand now.
All right, Keyboy coming in with the Raging Sandstorm down to 0 health as Kyle Teasy pops him. Summon Force dropped in by Severo, so that's a clear no-go. The Retribution said, and Kyrie in trouble. He does dash through, surge through that thick wall, and the Joy beats just come out at the very last moment. Could have been great to finish off Kyrie, but ONIC Esports are going to save themselves as Few gets blasted by Sans.
Yeah, this is really a battle of the mid laners, right? How many plays can each of these mid laners make with the Feathered Airstrike? And so far, I mean, Few has done a great job at hurting Lutfi and also finding big chunks on Kyrie, but Sans on the opposite end, doing the same, almost the same amount of damage. Despite all that's been happening, 2.2k lead for the side of Team Falcons. I don't think they're losing that lead anytime soon unless we see a big Raging Sandstorm coming in from Keyboy, but I don't think it's really going to happen. Just look at the way that Team Falcons are fighting. They've got ample space between each of their members.
Yep, he has missed a majority of his Raging Sandstorms, used one maybe defensively, so that's something that ONIC Esports have to work out. Figure out how Keyboy can get out of that jawhead rot he had in game number 2. Turtle danced on here by Lutfi, the stretch, the jump by Ogwin, waiting to be unleashed. Let's go. Kyrie just wailing away.
Let's see, Sans hasn't stolen ult just yet. He's looking for Few, and Few saying, no, I'm not going to give it to you just yet. Take Ogwin's one at least.
Few is keeping himself scarce. He knows how dangerous a stolen Feathered Airstrike could be. Look at this, he's inches away from Sans, but Sans can't see him.
Yep. That's how you should be playing this, especially in these scenarios. And not to ult.
Oh, the flicker, jumping ult, and the collapse. Sans goes down. Another will fall here in Keyboy. And point blank, the Feathered Airstrike and the Rondos pushing away on Esports. Another turtle scored here by Team Falcons, the last of game 3.
A beautiful engage coming in from Ogwin's side. I love the fact that he waited until the very last second to actually make that flicker happen. I felt like Sans knew exactly what he was doing too, but it's a matter of, can I react faster?
Yep, a slow motion moment.
Help, please. Severo at this point, 2 items already complete. He's going to need that Holy Crystal before you're expecting him to do such big damage, but
Flapped easy here. Gets out still. Feathered Airstrike, the punish coming in from Kyrie's initial jump. He thought that there was nobody there, but Kyle Teasy finishes the job.
At this point, we need to know, how many stacks does this man have? I felt like he should have died there. I really picked up on him.
And it's a support Badang too. It's not like he has the innate defense.
I mean, no, that's the whole point. Because that shield, it gets way bigger when he dashes around with the second skill, right? That's the whole point. That's why people wanted to pick it up in the first place. I am curious, though. If Brock could hover over Badang, we would like to see how many stacks this big man has.
At 8 minutes, so assuming he got it best case scenario like a 3. So what has the past 5 minutes been? How much hybrid defense has he built up? Because he just picked up the Oracle. So the extra shields got from that is null up until that point.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty big.
I'm bigger now.
Bigger now? I'm going to assume he's around 18 stacks, assuming that he's continuously, farmed up the Lutfi like, oh, what he's doing right now!
Nice jump on the Lutfi, the punish. He was just checking bushes, but Team Falcon wasn't having any of it. Tier 1 goes down. A stolen purple buff as well. And look at the back. Keyboy caught out.
Oh, who thought it was a good idea to make Badang stun 1 second?
Oh, the fist crack! Sans survives though, but just barely. It comes over Marco to finish what they all started.
Jeez, he caught him mid-animation as well. On that first dash, was able to lock him up, force out the second one after stunning him. Woof! This disruptor coming in flapped easy. Disgusting.
All right. As Team Falcons pressure mid, check out top lane. Kyrie has been working quietly, silently, taking down tier 2 away from Team Falcons. Oh, look at the low! Kyrie! Assassin, the Sky King, isn't afraid to get his hands dirty. They take down Kyle and they take the Lord.
Oh my goodness, what a steal. What a steal. This is just bought ONIC Esports some time into this game. And that's great for Severo, because so far he has not been able to participate. Super Marco has made a very big point to not let him have the space without paying the brass tacks. But ONIC Esports at this point of time, I mean, Lupti is only doing so much. I think he's got to play a little sneaky now. Like, he can pull attention, but he needs to stop giving stacks over to Flap.
You know what? We have omnipresent vision, right? We're omniscient in this game. But even I didn't see the quick rotation from top to Lord.
He waited for that wave to pass by him as
And
well.
then snuck around. And Keyboy was there this whole time. And they were keeping tabs on the rest of the map. That little corner was empty. And then it was too late until Kyle Teasy came in and just saw the steal.
And that's why in a lot of these games, most people are like, well, how could you not expect that to happen? Attention is a powerful resource in these types of 5v5 MOBAs. If you're able to get all 5 people looking at you, even if it's on the minimap, you won't expect the next thing to happen. Even so, with ONIC Esports able to take that load, they've only developed a 3.6K 6K recovery from where they were before.
Split the lead in half.
Yep, split that lead in half. And, ooh, a Twilight Armor purchase coming in from Ovid. Interesting optimization.
All right, in comes the Sonics, crashing through another Raging Sandstorm spent in.
Wow!
Shut down by the Sky King. Few flickering away. This might be it. Double kill by Kyrie. They're in trouble. Team Falcons Esports, the hunter becomes the hunted. Down goes Owen. It's just 2. Kyle and Flap. Down goes Sans. Can Kyle Teasy clean up? Kyrie going up in the heel on that hold sever. And now they're backing off. Kyle Teasy holding this bush. Oh, that was a catastrophe, disaster for Falcons, down to just 1,000 gold ahead.
Oh, they read the movements really, really well. Team Falcons wanted to go for a little bit of an LSEP to kind of move themselves out of the way, but ONIC Esports really picked a good spot to fight where they could intercept them on either side, having heroes who are able to dash over really easily, even if it's just Raging Sandstorm, but in Kyrie's case, very effective, a lot of distance covered.
It's the worst kind of lineup to get hit by a pincer maneuver, right? Your cores, well, two of the 3 attack in very specific ways. A circle for the Farsa and a straight line for Granger. Neither were given the option, given the positioning by ONIC.
And there's only Ogwin and Flapteasy. That's why Ogwin and Flapteasy, they want to be close enough to each other to follow up on their engages, but separate enough to get more coverage to make sure that the shield is not only broad, but extremely wide in all angles.
And to not get ruined by Savero.
Yes.
If they were too close to each other and Savero was nearby, just dashing underneath the Zaman Force, they both die.
They have to play rock, paper, scissors. One of us has to die. We have to choose who. We can't give them both.
Or if we do this right, Savero dies first.
One or the other.
If they get it right. So far, ONIC has been figuring out how to spread out Falcons enough to sneak out these wins.
Yeah, look at this. Another optimization. Again, look, they also picking up the Twilight Armor for himself. This, interesting. Haven't seen too many teams actually opt to do this, and it's really good against burst heroes, especially those that have true damage. But even so, I think more teams are opting to pick it up because of just how, I mean, what can you really do? Joy, max items as well. It's devastating.
Yeah. Granger, well, they did shut down the Skypiercer now. The Lord getting blitzed out here, down to 10th of its health. In comes one jump. Kyle Teasy takes it. The failed Raging Sandstorm. Kyle Teasy traded out for Suns. And now they back off happy with their win.
Oh boy. Man, that was a very... I don't know what the correct call should have been there. I understand that Keyboy was trying to stop Kyle. I understand that the rest of ONIC was pushing them up. They technically could have stolen the Lord. They technically could have just kind of like sacrificed one, moved away, or even extended the fight even further. Not sure what the call should have been there, but...
It's like they all suffered analysis paralysis at the same time.
Yeah, it really did. I mean, there was no wrong call there. And I think inevitably, at the end of the day, it's still Team Falcons who come out on top.
Yeah, and I was just like, wait. Somebody's got to take this right now. Somebody else. It's Kyle.
It's Kyle. Right. But how?
But how? 2,000 ahead they're making with this Lord take, and they're marching down mid. Look at this. It's the same combo. Keyboy and Kyrie in that lower quarter. Feathered airstrike by Few, clearing the waves, and leading Lord up to the top lane?
Yep, that's the way. Just delay it. Delay it
Right,
as much as you can. It does get the initial mid one, which is great. I love the idea of the way that they've delayed this perfectly because they lose no inhibitors, and Kyrie gets to live as he's already distracted the attentions of Falcons, knowing they don't have the feathered airstrike. Great decisions on this defense for a team lineup and composition that isn't exactly great at high ground to begin with.
What you call the Delta split. ONIC Esports use their bodies and their resources to defend successfully. A Rage Sandstorm from the back. Lutpi very low. Sans as well. And now they're going to have to use what they have left. Keyboy very low. Doesn't have any mortality left. Zaman forced by Zavero. Dropped in. Defensive maneuvers by ONIC. Keeps their inhibitors.
You know, as we see this game progress, the
All right. The jump in and the ult. Throwing Lutpi up against the wall. Just enough of an effort to take down inhibitor. Gideon, you were saying?
I'm saying the Keyboy, as we've seen the Raging Sandstorm come out, how often do you see him use the Raging Sandstorm to cancel out the Feathered Airstrike? I feel like most of the time the Feathered Airstrikes are coming out on off timings. He's already gotten 3 shots. If I commit the Raging Sandstorm, it's going to be a waste of my time. What am I stopping? 1 extra shot?
It's got to be at the first. So as soon as you see that major AoE,
pop it.
Hit it. So that's got to be a very small window. You got to understand, Keyboy is a world championship caliber player. It's just in that moment, he's also thinking about like a dozen other things.
Honestly, this game is quite the chess match between both of these teams, right?
Roamer specifically.
Roamer specifically, as well as the mid laners. I think the junglers have...
Lutpi gets hit with the ult, and the Raging Sandstorm canceled out, flicker to the side, caught out by FlapTZ, another Feathered Airstrike, blast in. 1, Keyboy gets the immortality pop, Lutpi gonna fall as well. The defensive Zaman Force once again does not get the job done. 1 more. Ogun with the jump, committing the flicker this time around. 3 members of ONIC left. 2 free pickoffs for Team Falcons.
Oh, it's too tough. It's too tough. The shield coming in from Team Falcons is just too wide. If FlapTZ is in there, Ogun is there to zone out the rest of the team, and it's so difficult for Severo to actually walk up for free.
Massive wins. A team of Falcons taking that top lane inhibitor, and then a free Lord by Kyle Atizi. Once again, all is according to plan, to the ecosystem of the newly formed team out of MPL Philippines. It's hunting day once more, and they're circling their prey.
It's getting close. It's getting close to that killing blow here. ONIC Esports, once again, they have to put their bodies on the line. Their composition is just not that great at the high ground defense. Worst comes to worst, this is their very last inhibitor as well.
There's a Feathered Airstrike committed. Lutpi down to 1/5 of his health, and this is a sad hours for Lutpi. There's no bushes to use in your base.
Nope,
you
there's
can't
none.
peel the same way.
There's none, and even an Oracle purchase coming in for Severo just to keep alive.
ONIC taking care of the Lord. Quick business. That base still standing. 3/5 up. Severo dropping that Zaman Force, kicking out Ogwin. Kyrie throwing out that Queller just enough, but never enough to take down Ogwin just yet. And all right, ONIC happy with the defense, successful, no bodies thrown out. We get to see another Lord.
Yep, 1 more Lord. But it's such a huge advantage for Team Falcons, right? With no inhibitors remaining for ONIC Esports, they're going to be super minions coming from everywhere. Look at the size of them at this point, right? It's really difficult to handle. And I think that FlapTZ has been having the time of his life. Can we get a Thunderbelt check from production? How many stacks does this man have? 17 minutes?
Hasn't died. Got the belt at what, 3 or 4?
I'm curious. And he even opts to go for the Brute Force Breastplate. What do you think about the Brute Force Breastplate on Badang? Because technically he doesn't really need it, but
he's one of the few that benefits only if you're constantly fighting.
Only if you're constantly fighting?
You know what? Never mind. With the fist crack, you're suddenly at max stats, are you not? You are.
You kinda are.
You suddenly get the extra resilience, you get the extra move speed, the extra damage. I think him and Alpha are the few that actually love the Brute Force Breastplate.
I gotta double check what his emblems are. I'm curious to see whether he opted to go for the extra 5% cooldown as well.
So he hits max 40.
So he gets max 40, but I still feel like there are better items out there because the raw stats just aren't that great. And I would rather if Flap is like, hey, how about we just add on a little more armor, a little bit more magic resist, deal a little more damage with my Thunderbelt that I'm already stacking to infinity.
Well, we are approaching TikTok timer, so maybe he'll start juggling once we do get to that point. But yeah, 19 minutes. It's a crapshoot. What FlapTZ could build? He could build a Dominance Ice. There is that casual shield there. Does he need a Athena shield? No, he doesn't need it. He does. Is Severo even a threat? We haven't seen Severo really do much.
Well, I mean, he's been struggling again on these fights. He really respects the front line of Team Falcons. Like, he understands if he gets caught by FlapTZ, it's not necessarily I get out for free. The Purify is very, very short.
It costs him.
It costs him. But also, FlapTZ is able to create environments around him.
Yep.
So it's a bit of a pain.
Him and Ogwin, actually. You can't dash and dance on the Zaman Force even if you wanted to. So there's so much. And folks, that's exactly why Severo isn't really presenting much of a threat. Was a legit question. And now, they're struggling to even contest. Team Falcons are taking their time here, making sure that the long wave is managed. Keyboy and Kyrie take it to the flank.
And then we come back to Lupti, who's just like, free Thunderbelt stacks on me! Free Thunderbelt!
Anybody?
Anybody? Oh, nice and fresh, nice and hot. Flap easy, you want one? Another one for the road?
All right, Ogwin clearing that bush. The conceal from Keyboy to reposition, as Kyrie can only really take care of the long lane. That's the only safe thing he can do.
Yeah, honestly, it's really difficult to play from ONIC Esports' position because it's like, yes, I want to be able to like sit by this lord, but there's just no inhibitors.
But do they know that Kyrie went up to the orange again? No one sees Kyrie here. Not at this range. Okay, Kyle saw him.
Yeah, they spawned him out. They're going to reset. They can do this all day. They basically got ONIC Esports in a bit of a chokehold here,
That's right.
You can't really do much. They understand that they've got waves working in their favor. It's just a matter of time.
All right, so they see that Sans is home. They see that Sans needed to defend, and there's a small window of opportunity for them to go in. The jump by Ogwin, forcing out that Purify from Severo. Peter strike already by few. Lutpi gonna get popped here. That wall gets up. Flapteezy gets one kill, and now Sans and Keyboy compromise. The flicker by Flapteezy goes in, takes a few hits, and the jump by Ogwin does have one. The answer, Raging Sandstorm. Free Lord for Team Falcons.
Ah, man, Lutpi, he's got to learn. He's got to learn his lesson here. He doesn't necessarily have to pull the attention, especially once the Purify came out of Severo. I do think that the lack of experience is starting to show here. ONIC Esports, unfortunately, there's so little they can do, and I think this should be the push. I don't think they have enough stats to cut through this Lord fast even.
Yep, Lutpi has 20 seconds on the clock with a 4-man defense. Feather strike coming in. Can they do it? The freeze here in the middle of the Zaman Force. Oh! Get popped. Few gets taken out by Kyrie. Look at the base. Look at the base. Down goes Sans. And Severo as well. And the base, the reverse sweep by Team Falcons.